you are doing spiritual awakening all wrong. It's not about gaining wisdom. It's not about gaining knowledge and becoming different than everybody else. It is about remembering. It's about realizing your true nature. We were birthed into this world as pure, undifferentiated awareness. We are innately pure consciousness. Every baby comes into the world pure, loving, and innocent. And that is the nature of our awareness. And through the socialization process, we begin to see ourselves as separate. We begin to see ourselves and the world through labels, through judgments, through attachments. And we live confined by our own mental construction. And as we begin to spiritually awaken, it is a remembering of our purity. It is a remembering of our divinity, of our truth. And what is that truth? What is it that we seek as we begin to dive into ourselves? Because spiritual awakening is not seeking something outside of you. So many people get caught up in seeking the knowledge and wisdom, and I've been caught in it just as deeply. Just as deeply, it's about reading all of these books and understanding sacred geometry and the inner workings of the universe, looking into various philosophies like Buddhism, Hermeticism, Hinduism, and all of that is great. And all of that allows you to piece together the universe and piece together your place within the cosmos. But at the end of the day, it becomes a distraction when you become consumed by it. When your ego, you have these spiritual ego trips. The spiritual ego comes to play when you begin to see yourself as better than the world. And I've seen myself as better. I've been through the trips. I remember when I was in college, I was unable to spend time with my friends and my family because all I could do was just think about their unconsciousness. I couldn't enjoy their company. All I could do was just think about myself as high and holy and place judgment upon them for who they are. And that's not spiritual. Obviously, that's a label and limitation I just said myself, but it's more so our stepping into truth and stripping away the labels that we have. And it's not as much about becoming attached and becoming entangled within the world, because we have all of these attachments, all of these egoic vices, all of these desires, all of these judgments upon ourselves and upon the nature around us, upon the world we live in. And as we spiritually awaken, we awaken to ourselves and we awaken to our connection to it. Our pure, undifferentiated consciousness. And you're asking, what is pure, undifferentiated consciousness? And pure, undifferentiated consciousness is the awareness that experiences the universe. Pure, undifferentiated consciousness is spirit. It is our essence. It is the life that animates our being. It is the same life that animates our being is the same life that extends up towards the heavens within this bamboo. Within this bamboo lies the same consciousness, the same awareness that lies within us. So as we begin to walk the spiritual path, it is not a seeking of truth outside of ourselves. It's a seeking of truth within ourselves. And it's a stripping back of the labels, of the judgments, of the attachments that we have for ourselves and for the world. And this is the most difficult part of it, is how do we strip those back? How do we become pure again? These trees, these pieces of bamboo, they don't think about growing. They don't think, oh, it would be a good idea if we all extended up towards the heavens. That is their nature. They are programmed. They are programmed to do it. And all of them, all of these pieces of bamboo are following this natural order. And it is our natural order to extend up towards those heavens as well. to be the light of the world, to be the love of the world, to rid ourselves of these afflictions. They talk about it in the Eightfold Noble Path in Buddhism, ridding ourselves of our afflictions, our desires, our vices, our attachments, our judgments. And we begin to realize our essence. We begin to tap into our spirits. We begin to see the world for what the world is. And we begin to see the world objectively, although it's true that really nobody sees the world objectively. They see the world as we are. That is the biggest fact of the spiritual path. One of the biggest facts is that we see the world as we are, not as the world is. So we begin to see reality in the world more clearly when we rid ourselves of these judgments, these labels that we have upon ourselves. We begin to replace those labels and alchemize them. There's tons more videos on my channel talking about how we can start to replace those labels and transmute our desires. And when we begin to understand these principles of self-mastery, because the alchemization, the transmutation is the process of self-mastery, we can also focus on the self-realization. And the self-realization is where we realize ourselves to be that pure spirit, to be the all, to be God, to be source in form experiencing itself, never equal to God. A lot of people on the spiritual path get caught up in, oh, I'm God, I am God. And that is a foolish statement. And I've made that statement, so I can say that it's foolish. I had an account on TikTok called Being, also called 5D Warriors at one time, and I would talk about these topics: consciousness, God, ancient history, sacred geometry. And one thing, as I was a novice in the spiritual path, as I still am a novice, I said, I am God. I am God, and so are you. I am God, and so are you. And this is true in a sense, but it's a paradoxical truth. I am not equal to God. You are not equal to God, but God lives through us, experiencing us. And the Godness that is inside of you is the pure, undifferentiated awareness that experiences your mind, animates your body, and puts forth the light into the world in the same way that this bamboo reaches towards the heavens, as are we. We are the light of the world, the love of the world. And it's so great to be here with you, and I appreciate you listening in and understanding where we go on the spiritual path, where we strip ourselves of who we thought we were and begin to embody who we are. Embody ourselves as pure, loving awareness. Because that's the one point we didn't get into in this video, is the nature of the universe being love. We are all here as loving beings, harmoniously interacting on this cosmic drama. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. You can find more videos about consciousness, spirituality, self-realization, and self-mastery on my channel over here. Thank you so much for being here with me. I love you. Much love, much peace, and Adonai.